Marvel and DC Studios skipped out on this year's Comic-Con, so we're filling the void in the best way we can by bringing you a spirited debate on the future of the MCU and the DCU now that one enters Phase 6 and the other starts from scratch, mostly. Welcome our esteemed panelists. We have Scott Kalora, Kim Horcher, and Max Scoville.
What's up?
So, guys, I want to start sort of from the beginning here. We've got, as mentioned, one's entering Phase 6, the other one is starting vaguely from scratch. But with Superman being what it was and Fantastic Four, which one do you think is coming out ahead in their proverbial refreshes?
It's hard to say at this point.
Who wants to jump on this first? Yeah.
Who wants to fall on that landmine? It's really hard to say at this point. I was really impressed with Superman, so I think we're on a really good foot going into this new era.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm historically a Marvel kid, but I really feel like it's been kind of diminishing returns in the recent MCU, and I thought the Fantastic Four was gorgeous, but it was definitely like its first steps, but we're, a decade plus in. Like I think we need something bigger than that. Yeah, I mean, I love Fantastic Four. I think it's the best Fantastic Four movie to date, but that's not saying a whole lot. Meanwhile, Superman, also one of the best Superman movies to date, and I think that James Gunn really exhibited quite a lot of talent, just hitting the ground running, dumping out a bunch of toys in the sandbox, and then managing to tell like a cohesive story that also set up a bunch, but without, doing the thing that Marvel frequently does, which is spread itself too thin by introducing too many little teasers for upcoming things.
Yeah. It's like we were just doing a ranking of the Phase 5 movies. That's going to be an article on IGN.com. And we were like, so many of these have been just mediocre to bad. Like it just feels tired on the MCU front. And Superman just is exciting. It's like, wow, this is new. It's a whole new universe. And it's a universe where they trust the audience as well. Like we're just diving in and we're doing it. And we know who Superman is. And yeah, I'm Team Superman these days. I'm kind of done with Marvel.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
and I was a Marvel guy too, like you, Max. So.
Ouch.
I was not. I was growing up, I was strictly DC, and so it's so exciting to just be excited about DC again.
I mean, DC animation is hard to beat, but I really feel that James Gunn has proven a love and an understanding for the character on a granular level. I don't envy Marvel at any point after Endgame, because how do you top that? How do you build on top of that? And the answer is, you kind of don't.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is we spent all those years with the Marvel heroes who we grew to love, the actors as well as the characters, Chris Evans as Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man, and now those guys are all gone, and we're just expected to slide in with these other heroes who are, some of them are fine, some of them are okay, but it's just not the same as those glory days of Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3.
Yeah, we're lacking that foundation.
Yeah.
They moved past Infinity War, and they were like, well, we're just going to keep going instead of establishing something for these new folks. But I'm glad you mentioned the sameness earlier, because superhero fatigue has been a hot topic for years, and both Feige and Gunn in recent weeks have said outright, this is fake. It's not real. People are not sick of superheroes. They're not bored of superheroes. It's their job to say that.
Why would they ever say otherwise?
But their whole point is that they're not sick of superheroes. They're sick of everything being the same. And Gunn has a little bit more clout to say that than Feige does. But I want to get your guys' take on that. Do you think superhero fatigue is real, or do you fall on the Gunn side of it of no, people are just missing refreshing stories, even if it's a character that we know and love and have had in our lives for 90 years?
We're at Comic-Con. It's really hard to say that superheroes are over and no one likes superheroes. I think that's an easy cop-out to make. It's typical of learning the wrong lesson, I think, which we see time and time again from different studios for different reasons, not exactly what we're talking about here always. I think we just need something refreshing that we haven't seen 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times before.
No, I mean, the thing that's cool about both of these is that they're universes, or even, multiverses, really. And I think when the MCU was really hitting its stride, we would almost get movies that were in different genres all under the bigger umbrella. Like Guardians was a comedy, and Winter Soldier was like an espionage thing. We've had, occasionally they are hitting those notes. We got WandaVision, which was a really weird sitcom, and it totally worked. But I think they have to have a clear idea of like, okay, what is this movie on its own? And you can fit into the larger part of the MCU, but it can't just be like an MCU flavored blob that just gets thrown out there. Meanwhile, I think the biggest strength that DC has going, and this is true of the comics as well, is that they're very mythological and they're extremely flexible in terms of like reinterpreting characters. Like we're gonna get Matt Reeves doing more Batman movies. We're gonna get a Clayface horror movie. And they're going to coexist with what's happening in the larger interconnected DCU. And I think that is so cool. Like, I always love the Elseworld stuff. We're going to get an animated Aztec Batman movie. That's so cool. So, yeah, I don't think superhero fatigue is a thing. I think sameness fatigue is a thing.
Yeah.
And you can see even Gunn's approach, like he's kind of gone on the record about how he won't let a movie happen until the script is right. And that's not something that Marvel would do. Kevin Feige, again, maybe won't really admit that, but they announced, it's happened here. Remember cheering for Blade, Max? But, like,
Blade.
And Gunn doesn't seem to be willing to do that. That's why the Batman Brave and the Bold movie is taking longer to get made than it was one of the first ones they announced. And it's still not really happening in any meaningful way because he wants to make sure that it's getting it right first. It's like Gunn has learned from some of the mistakes of Marvel because obviously he came from Marvel too.
Yeah, definitely.
The Blade thing is like especially weird because there was that quote where Feige was like, we don't want to just put him in a trench coat and have him killing vampires. And everyone's like, why?
Why not,
That's
though?
exactly what we want.
That's exactly what we want.
Yeah, and I mean, in some instances, again, like I feel like Blade exists in that wonderful kind of action horror corner. And it could exist as a standalone thing. Whereas, like, I don't know, Fantastic Four, putting them in a pocket universe feels almost, kind of suffocating,
Yeah.
and they, they're going to come out of that pocket universe. But again, it's like, they have epic, intergalactic stakes, but Blade's like in the shadows fighting vampires. Put him in the trench coat. Let him fight the vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like, so we have had street level Marvel fare in phases 5 and 6, but it feels like in lacking that foundation, we have also forgotten, like, what happens on Earth matters. We need that ground level. We need the street level intrigue. Like Hawkeye was so widely beloved because it was somebody that we knew and loved, but it happened on our Earth. It happened in a space with characters that we loved that impacted us. But sort of in that same space, I am convinced that Superman being great and being a financial success is going to be the best thing to happen to Marvel in the MCU. Because of course James Gunn has the advantage of, yes, I came from that and I know all of the things that people are frustrated about, and I'm gonna come outright and tell you every single one of these things is gonna have its own tone for its own superhero. But I wanna get your guys' take on that kind of competition. Like, is it healthy? Do you think Superman is gonna push them, or do you think Marvel is gonna dig in and just be like, no, our way works?
I think it's healthy, and you can already see the effect Superman is having. Like Kevin Feige just did what was basically an apology tour the other day. I mean, it's true. He called the trade papers and the Hollywood trade papers into his office and did a big press conference with them, basically, where he talked a lot about the success of Superman, and Feige has never hidden the fact that he's just a fan first and foremost. As a matter of fact, he got to start working for Richard Donner, who directed the original Superman movie back in the day. But I think I think Feige feels the heat a little bit, and the fact that he did that press event the other day is indicating that. And it comes at a good time, which is Phase 6. We're kind of starting fresh in the last push for this segment of Marvel history. And there's nowhere to go but up for Feige at this point either, because what's next? We have Spider-Man 4, Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars. I mean, those are, if you can't get those right, what else is there? So.
Well, the reset's coming after Secret Wars, right?
That's what he's saying.
I wonder how that's going to work because, of course, in comics, it resets all the time.
Yeah.
It's fine. We have these characters forever, but we don't have these actors forever. And I wonder if people's attachment to the Chris Evans, the Robert Downey Jr. as that role, is it going to be able to pull past that?
Yeah.
No, I think they just got to bite the bullet because it's, you can look at the way James Bond does it, or you can look at the way Indiana Jones does it. And it's like, I would much rather see, Chris Evans get recast, get someone to replace Hugh Jackman, and then have those guys coming out when they're just retirement age, all due
Hugh
respect.
Jackman free.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's not complaining. Still, so this I think we all agree is going to be the kick in the pants that Marvel needs. But we also have two strong similarities between Fantastic Four and Superman. And that's that both of them have a profound faith in their audience. Just, I'm not explaining to you who Superman is. I'm not explaining to you who the Fantastic Four is. You get all of the threes at the beginning of Superman, and you get a brief television montage at the beginning of Fantastic Four. But there are some people who kind of were frustrated by that. Like, we've got both camps of like, thank you for having faith in me, and then you've got other camps who are like, you didn't explain to me who these are, so I don't know them in the context of your universe. Which side do you think is better?
Okay, no offense, but who doesn't know who Superman is? Okay? We've seen how many Spider-Man origin stories. I really appreciated how the Spider-Verse handled that, and they just shot through it quickly, comic book style, and we got it, and we understood it. And those films are great. So I don't see a problem with them trusting the audience to understand who is Superman, which you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know you, but I know you know.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, I didn't know who Indiana Jones was, but I figured it out as I watched the movie, right?
You're a smart guy.
Yeah, he doesn't like snakes.
I mean, maybe just you bring in like opening crawls like Star Wars, you sit through several paragraphs of exposition, fall asleep a little bit, get some backstory. No, I mean, like I took my 4-year-old daughter to see Superman because I'm an irresponsible father, but the opening, they had all those threes and all that stuff explaining things, and I was like, okay, so yeah, he's from a planet that blew up. She's like, why'd it blow up? And I'm like, I don't remember. It was like intrigue of some. There's like conflicting origin stories.
Global warming.
Yeah, and then Gunn scrapped the entire origin story and reinvented that. Like there's going to be stuff to explain, but at the end of the day, like we all have the internet. Like we're all going to go and be like, what's the ending? Explain. What's this? Who is that? I didn't know who Mr. Terrific was. I went into that totally cold. Like I'm not a DC guy. I'm like vaguely aware of Guy Gardner, and I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes. So if you're not sure what's going on, just Google it.
Yeah, and go to IGN.
Or watch IGN. That's it. That's
Go to IGN.com, where we also explain things. If I have to watch Martha Wayne's pearls bounce against pavement ever again, I'm going to scream in the middle of the theater. And that's all the time that we have today. But it goes to show that whether you'd prefer the Baxter Building or the Fortress of Solitude, it's an exciting time to be a superhero fan.